Welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday, June 14th, 2022. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. I am your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. We are live on Spotify, Twitch, Twitter, the YouTube channel, of course. It is the name of the show. We are live on my Facebook page. Please like, share, subscribe, do all that wonderful things for this wonderful podcast. Again, I'm biased because I love all my guests. I believe my guests are dope. Some of the dopest people on the earth. I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You are one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. It has been proven over and over again. So these two right here. Mm, 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 mm.
What up? What up?
Two wonderful black strong men on this show tonight.
Come on, Joe. You gotta do that. You gotta go ahead. Go ahead.
Appreciate
like
that.
man.
Nah, that's the Rex. That's Rex. I'm gonna let Rex. I don't want to take it from Rex. Yeah.
So, before we get started to the conversation with these young men, I'm gonna read their bio, and then we're gonna have a great conversation. I normally just do an hour with my people, but because I know our conversation is gonna go way past the hour, I just said, you know what? I'm not gonna put anybody after them. So we just gonna until the party is over.
All right.
The party is over. So let's get into the bio with these two. And of course, I want y'all to understand it's more than just them. It's more, but things happen. We'll talk about that later.
One of the other brothers is laid up right now, just trying to recover. Shout out to Kodik.
Yeah, shout out to Kodik. Kodik, get well, man.
So let's do this. So for everybody who don't know, they are the owners, co-hosts, or however you want to say it, of For the Record podcast.
Yes.
And I will get into it with them because the one on the right, the far right, my right, I've already had a conversation with him before. Yes. You. I already had one. Right. He actually had me in tears in the last time we had our conversation. Hopefully, I'm not doing no crying tonight. But however,
definitely no crying tonight. We're not doing no crying tonight.
You never know because I didn't plan it the last time. I really didn't. A conversation with creative multimedia entrepreneurs, HGO and Joe Boyd. As on here I said JB, are the hosts of the For the Record podcast, a music and lifestyle podcast focusing on mental health, creative conversation, and the business behind the music. With a decade-long friendship, Joe and Ace have worked together on clothing lines, recording labels, and management businesses, as well as music licensing and marketing. Their new venture for the Record podcast is YouTube-based with a written column quarterly hosted by Compulsive Magazine. Shout out Miss Cookie.
Shout out to
the
Compulsive.
New Haven-based duo started this podcast as an idea in the basement and quickly partnered with, what's his name, Kenise,
yeah.
Yes.
Earl, and Creative House Studios to bring their idea to life. The focus of the podcast is to be informative, have fun, and let the guests let their hair down and tell their creative stories. Again, I want you guys to welcome JB and HGO to the show.
Yo, what's good with you?
How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. What's going on?
It's a pleasure.
You know,
everything going on.
We're over here working. We're working always.
So I have been excited for this conversation for a minute now. Not only because I've already previously had a conversation with Ace, but because now we're on the podcast kick. And so we could, share the tips, how you guys got into doing what you guys doing, and let's just be real. That's what we doing. So
Absolutely.
since I've never had a conversation with you, Mr. Joe.
Yeah,
Let's start with you.
And about your little your statement just now. Our podcast is for the record. We keeping it real every time.
Exactly.
So let it out. Let it out. We're gonna put it on the table.
Since I've never had a conversation with you,
right?
Let's get into it with you first.
Let's go.
So,
put them on the spot. Put them on the spot.
Exactly. So with the music business and everything that you bring to the table, where did that come from? Like, start from childhood, high school, where we started at?
As far as music. I got into music promoting early. My brother was a promoter who was me and my brother was really tight. He passed away, bless his soul and rest in peace. But I got into the whole management circle of it really, really early. Before I even knew I was into music, like in that way, as far as promoting, I was already tied into it. You know what I mean? So I got into it fairly early, like right after high school, probably my early 20s. Probably a little earlier than that. But we have family that's in the music, that has a musical background. What boosted me in it was my sister has her oldest son is by the rapper Big Daddy Kane. So
pause. First of all, you not about to drop no name like that and then just go scroll over it like I just didn't hear that.
Yeah, you wanted it. You told me where to start at.
Wait, you said who?
Big Daddy Kane, the rapper. He's like a fan. He's like an older brother to me. But I mean, it's different for me. You know what I mean? It's just different. Georgia Tay. It's just like, I didn't even mean to drop it like that. I was just giving you the story. You stopped.
Right. Oh, yeah. Like, hold on. Wait a minute.
I mean, we could get back. We could get back into it. I mean, the thing was, he was here, and
What happened? You lost your audio, bro.
I'm sorry. Hello, we there?
Yeah, somebody probably called you.
So we would like I said, we would get into party promoting. My brother would bring a lot of rappers here, and that eventually led to me managing local artists. He dealt with some pretty good artists, but that's where my management side came. And then, eventually I started my own label. I started to manage my own artists. I started to write music. So it's a little story. It's a little story, but that's where I get it from. That's where my roots come from.
Very heavy.
Very heavy.
I was still stuck at Big Daddy Kane. Sorry.
What you want to know? Let me give you some juice. Some exclusive juice right now. No, just
listen. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I had no idea, but I was not ready. I wasn't, when you said it so fast, like, you're not about to drop that name and keep on moving like you just didn't say it.
It's not me, though. You know what I mean? It's not me. It's not me. You know what I mean? It's him. He's just like happened to, he happened to be family, That's it. That's all I can say.
Ace?
I'm here. What's going on?
So last time we talked on screen, I'm gonna say that. Last time we talked on screen, it was a very vulnerable moment with the history of music. And we both talked about our dads when it came to music. And this is where I'm saying I was not scheduled to cry, but however, it was very emotional when it came to the memory and getting back to where music made you feel something.
Right.
And I feel like some of the music these days is missing that feel good music of bringing and making music, making memories that last. Artists like we talked about Luther. I remember, dancing for the first time with my father, standing on his toes while he's twirling me around on the first moment of ballrooming to Luther and
Right.
Freddie Jackson and all of these type of music. And I'm like, where's the music that make you feel some type of way?
Yeah, where is that at?
Where is it at?
I think a lot of it is starting to come back. First of all, our conversation that we had before is more of a conversation. You got to call it growth communication. You know what I'm saying? Because the fact that we had a deep conversation, and throughout that conversation, you went from having a great time and laughing and being happy and into crying. That's just growth. You know what I mean? That's like having the sunshine and the water. You need both of them, as a flower to live. So, and then secondly, as far as the music and where it's at, where has it gone? I think that music is still there. I think it's if you're, if you're willing to go out and look for it, it's not really that out of reach. You have guys like Tank that are still, doing, he has an amazing body of work and he's continuing to create stuff. You have guys like, Bruno Mars, and what the stuff that they're doing, where they're actually tapping back in, Soul Sonic, they're tapping back into to some of the, Love Train is a huge song from that era, and it's, they did it, and Joe, this actually goes back to one of our conversations that we had for the record. It's like, when somebody does a song and then somebody else comes out and remakes that song. I mean, the Love Train song that Soul Sonic did, it's as equally as impactful as the original one. And then when you see the performance, you're blown away by the performance. I mean, these dudes are really moving it, and they're bringing back that original feel, to R&B, that soul. What's been missing for a very, very long time is that soul, and I think you still have a lot of artists out there that are definitely capable of doing that. You just have to dig into the crates, so to say, and find the new stuff.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought up Tank. So there I'm gonna be so transparent tonight. Ooh wee. So there's a
As you should be.
Podcasting or shows that I do my homework with. And matter of fact, yeah, some people might be upset, but I love Drink Champs, right?
Absolutely.
With Nori.
I mean, if you're talking about podcasts, they're at the top of the podcast.
What would make you say some people will be upset? I wonder.
Because some people want to put you in a box, right?
Right.
With me being a minister. And
you're a minister? I'm sorry, I didn't even know that. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just ordained maybe a month ago.
Newly ordained, correct? Congratulations on that.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations on that.
Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you. I love Drink Champs.
Yeah.
Not because of the activity that they're doing, but the education that I get with all the people that they had on here. Matter of fact, today we were watching the one he did with Mike Tyson, and they're in Vegas. I learned so much from Mike Tyson that I was surprised, and he was really dropping some gems. Like, wow, I didn't know. And if I wasn't watching Nori, I would have missed it. I'm not really a hip hop head. I'm not really into rap. Sorry. So a lot of the education that he have on there from all of these different artists, I learned from that, because I'm not gonna play rap. I'm sorry. I don't, However, don't get mad at me. That's just my preference.
Listen, that's your preference. Never mad at that.
there's The Pivot. I don't know if you guys watch The Pivot.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like mirroring the things that you love. I'm into sports. I'm into music. There's certain ones that I just sit back and be like, oh, this is education for me. I might not have gotten it from ESPN if they didn't ask the right questions or been comfortable to say what they need to say and be vulnerable, crying and all this. I'm like, oh my God, I need to go on the pivot. Different things like that. I'm watching you guys and I'm like, okay, so behind the scenes, the different things that I'm learning, I would have never seen this if it wasn't for social media.
Right.
Truth be told, there's been tears off on For the Record podcast. Right. But they're like, some of them are like doing outtakes or just like in between, you know what I mean? Like there's been tears and on For the Record podcast, just to throw it out there. It gets
sure. I mean, once you are tapping into, sometimes going back into your past, but the things that hurt you, the things that disappoint you, the things that sometimes we're embarrassed to actually talk about it out loud, that when you say it, you be like, dang, I was dumb. Like, what happened? You didn't know. Unsung. Number one. Why? For me, it was God was telling me, watch this show so you know when you get into the music business, when you get to TV, when you get to all of this, know your contracts, baby. If I don't know nothing else,
know your contracts.
Know your contracts.
Right,
it was proven over and over again. It's either your contracts, if you a group, somebody in somebody else's ear, it's drugs, it's alcohol, it's something like, okay, now these things are out here.
Yeah, Joe and I have been through all of that, whether it was, a musical contract or just, a company contract that we were involved in or he was involved in, and just, things just don't work out. I mean, you can only take so much control of, if you're a 2 or 3 or 4 man operation, you have control of yourself. You try to keep the wheel, you try to keep the your hand on the wheel at all times, but you have to trust the people that you're working with, that they're going to do the right thing. And I think for Joe and I, we've known each other for such a long time, and we've, dipped and dabbed here and there and consulted with each other often as far as our own personal businesses, that it was this time that we were like, you know what, we really need to do something, and we really need to do something together. And that's where For the Record, comes from. He had an idea, and it was something that I was playing with, also. And when he told me his idea and I kind of shared my thoughts on it, it was just kind of like a perfect, marriage, let's say. And we've been rocking since then. And it all started, just sitting in the basement, going through the trials and tribulations of trying to figure out the microphones, which we're still trying to figure out because it's a never ending saga. Trying to figure out the setup.
Definitely a never ending saga.
Trying to figure out the setup, the angles, how this is going to be, how that's going to be. And it was a lot of prep work that we had to put into it just to get to the point that we're at now. So,
it took time.
It took time. And the way you say that, you watch us and you watch The Pivot and you watch, Drink Champs, we watch you, you know what I mean? Right. We watch you, and we're looking at your followers, and we're looking at, your audience and listening to your conversations. And, we're doing the same thing. We're watching The Pivot. We're watching I Am Athlete and, all those other shows, The Shop and so on and so forth, to see, in order to be great, you have to take bits and pieces from everything you learn and then apply it towards your own personal. And that's what Joe and I have done. And so far, so good. Graces of God, it's been a great experience.
I'm very supportive. And by nature, I'm a connector. And I didn't know that to this extent until 2 years ago. And when you experience so many losses and you wonder why you're still here, And when he shows it to you, and I mean God, when he starts showing it to you, it's like, take it and run with it. And I thought, how, I started on the phone. I wasn't using a laptop. I started on the phone doing a conversation. We getting all these feedback. Oh, I'm reading. You got to have your earbuds and this and that to, silence the static and all this. I'm doing conversations in my car and all this stuff. I'm like, okay. And everybody started having a conversation like, yeah, this is dope. You should, keep doing it. Then it was one conversation after another, And God told me, why you trying to reach out to all these other people and celebrities? Start with the people you already know, because they're dope.
That's a fact.
Right.
Start with your inner circle first, because they're dope. Right. The other people will come later.
I got a question for you. What actually made you start doing this, though? Because like you told us, you kind of skipped over that part of where you first had that aha moment of what made you try to do this.
So I don't even remember no more.
Oh, you didn't think that we were just going to take over, right? You didn't think that we were going to take this show over too?
For the record, you had to see
right, something. For the record. How did I start? I was just having a conversation, just being on Facebook.
Right.
Just talking. And I was sharing my heart. I was doing I wasn't doing TikToks then. I was just singing. I was doing different things and people would make comments. I was like, oh, they like this. Secret of mine, I love attention. Okay. So I was like, oh, they like this. All right.
Perfect.
I'm just saying. So right. I said I would do this. And then a guy was like, well, why don't you start a podcast? And I'm like, but what are we going to talk about? He's like, well, I don't know. Just figure it out. So at first it was, I talked to a cousin. And at the time, she's big in golf. Big in golf. And we were talking about her, golfing and what I thought and all of these things. And it was just, next thing I know, we talking for an hour and a half. Live on Facebook.
Oh, right.
I will say one of the things that Joe and I have realized or come to find out quickly is how fast the time goes by, especially when you're having a real deep or even just a good, wholesome conversation. It just goes by like, man, we just sat down and it's ready. We're ready to close out.
Yeah. It just started getting. I
kind of knew that was going to happen tonight, so that's why I just said we just gonna leave it open. We got to 9:00, and because at the end of the day, there's people who have really good stories, and before you know it, an hour's over, and I'll be like, dang it, now I got to do another one. Right. No, we're gonna hash it out. We're going to have the conversation because we all have different views, especially when it comes to music, behind the music, behind the hurts and all of this stuff that people don't realize or they take for granted. They take for granted. I used to ask questions. I say this to Ace all the time. I'm like, how do you get viewers? How do you, how do you get your numbers up and this and that? And I will always just keep putting out good content.
That's it. That's the only advice. If I can jump in, the YouTube thing is definitely very new to me. Other than being independent and putting out like artists music videos, Ace is more familiar with it, and we talk about it, and it's just like, yo, just let that shit run. Just keep put out good content. You know what I mean? Our numbers are doing really well. So it's like our thing was to just continue, just be organic and just continue to put out the content. You know what I mean? Right. Because is at any time you have open discussion, whenever you're talking, somebody is interested in whatever you're talking about. You know what I mean? It might be not your cousin because they sitting there like, yo, I'm tired of hearing you talk. You know what I mean? But it's people out there that are you'll be surprised what people are interested in hearing on hearing what other people's views are. You know what I mean? Like basic shit like relationships.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like people I would love to hear your point of view on a relationship, and then guys, vice, you know what I mean? Like I sit with my bros sometimes and we just chop it up. And it's like, yo, women don't think like men. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. And I know women want to hear that, and I know men want to hear that. So, it's just the content. And all content is good. You just got to keep pushing it. You feel what I'm saying? They got to know that it's there for them to get it. You got to feed them. If they know the food is there, they're going to keep coming to get it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I think going back to like even the conversation that you and I had, in our first interview, where I was telling you your words have power. Don't be afraid to use those words. That segment alone, you know what I mean? Like that's content for you, but it's also content for us, because I took that one segment and posted it, just on my personal page, and all of a sudden it's like, yo, somebody's sharing it, somebody else is sharing it. Again, when you're looking for subscribers, when you're trying to figure out the views, you have to start with your immediate circle. Your coworkers, the people that you can just reach out and touch, and just don't be afraid to. I used to have an artist who was afraid to tell people that he was a rapper. And he would always be like, "Nah, I don't rap. But you're in front of really important people. You need to tell people you rap. Yeah. And it's the same thing. If you have a podcast, don't be afraid to use your voice and say, hey, you know what? If you get a chance to, check me out on YouTube, or take their phone. Right. I've taken people's phones and scroll to YouTube and hit subscribe, and they'd be like, all right, cool, thanks, I'll check it out. Don't be afraid to put yourself out. You're already at the end of the diving board. You might as well just jump into the pool.
But just know what you don't want to do, and then go hit that bar. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I mean, not for nothing, like you're an ordained minister. So you know what you're not going to touch, but you got to go all the way to the top of that. You know what I mean?
But the funny thing is, even though I am, there's nothing that I won't, because because of the experience, and because of people need to know the truth, I'll talk about it.
Now you're talking good content. You feel what I'm saying? That's good content.
Yeah, I have to, because when you look at certain people and you be like, she got molested, she got raped, you had a complex, because a lot of things people don't want to talk about that but there was things I did on purpose, because I didn't want guys to be looking at me a certain type of way. So you know how the girls back in the day used to wear the big clothes, so you couldn't see their figure?
Right.
That was me, because of the things that happened to me. So I didn't want the attention. I was doing things as a boy because I didn't want the attention that dudes was giving me.
Right.
Until I wanted to.
Right.
So there was the shift of am I gay? Am I not gay? It was, listen, this story right here is something else. But
I mean, it's powerful, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Because you're here. Look, it's interesting, right? When you could sit there and say that, but I could look at you and see that you're beautiful and you're smiling and you're happy at this moment, and you're owning it. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what makes you so powerful. And people want to know that, because a lot of people want to hear that. A lot of young women, a lot of people that are probably watching this right now can use that, what you just said. You feel what I'm saying? And then guess what? A lot of them are sitting there saying, I want to hear more. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I want to hear more, because I'm sitting here saying I want to hear more. You feel what I'm saying? But I mean, this is you. We'll take over at some point. You know what I mean? We just let us feel when we want to jump over the fence first. No, but it's good though. But listen, it's good content. What you're saying is interesting. Because of course I didn't know any of this. How would I know this? You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people probably like, well, this show was about them, but shit, we learned a lot about her.
It's everybody, because I feel like, y'all my big brothers. And so I'm the person that connects by heart.
Right.
And so God told me earlier this year that I was going to become the help that I once needed. A lot of times we suffer in silence. We smile, we laugh, but we jacked up, and no one sees it because we have on this mask.
Right.
You looking at somebody who survived being suicidal. I had a gun to my head. I had a gun in my mouth. I actually pulled the trigger and nothing happened.
Wow.
I had a butcher knife to my heart. Like, I will not let anybody hurt me or love me in this particular way again.
Right.
I was out of here. And so eventually those stories changed. Like, God's like, you ain't going nowhere. I got stuff for you to do. I got people for you to meet. I have your life story I'm going to use for somebody else to understand that trouble don't last always.
Right.
And thank God I don't look like what I've been through.
Right. Listen, your God work. You feel what I'm saying? Your God's work. Like you work. You know what I mean? He put that in order. You feel what I'm saying? He making you who you are so you can be who you need to be.
So I'm here, and we're talking music. I sent some stuff to Ace, and he was like, "And why you didn't put this out?" And I'm like, I wasn't ready. I wasn't this. I didn't know. And, so again, I'm around people now, people that I've met through the show, that at any moment, anything can happen.
Right.
I met you guys. If I wouldn't have had this, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Exactly. And we're miles and miles and miles away from each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but there's a connection, so it's, going back to the thing that you were asking about YouTube and subscribers and stuff like that. It's like Joe was saying, putting that organic work in. One thing that I learned about YouTube is you don't want to make anything, you don't want to falsify anything, because it shortens your chances or your lifespan over there. They want to make sure that everything's on the up and up, and they're constantly checking. It took us a while to get, our custom URL, and I'm constantly checking like every day, and I'm hitting Joe up, and I'm like, yo, I know we qualify. Why we didn't get it yet? I know we qualify. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, maybe we need, maybe it's this date. It's this thing. It's this time. It's this person. Wait, one
maybe
more
we
person.
got to wait to the end of the month. We was asking those questions. I'm like, call
crazy,
YouTube. Call YouTube.
Yeah, and then and then one day, I wake up and I'm like, I get an email, and it's like, oh, you guys qualify for the custom URL. Right. And I'm like, yeah, okay, one step further. And it's the same thing I said to you. There's no way that you don't qualify for the custom URL. You just have to stay on top of it, figure it out, email them, call them, do whatever you got to do. Look at your subscribers, look at all the stuff on your background page to figure out what is missing. Do not buy subscribers, do not buy views, because all that stuff is cheating, and it's just not going to put you in the right place. So especially with the way you're living right now, pure is the way to go. Organic is the way to go for you. And I mean, your show, I talked to you, last week, and I told you the show that you did with Remy, I thought was really, really dope. I mean, I thought y'all had a great conversation. It was a special conversation, and I think you got a lifelong bond with her. You know what I mean? And she's an amazing talent. So, I think for Joe and I, doing this, as many people as we can connect, as many people that we've met so far, just in these 9 episodes, it's changed our perspective on people. It's added on to the fact that, yes, we can still have great conversations with people, and people are willing to tell their stories or tell what they went through. And hey, guess what? You know what? We went through a similar, trial. We went through a similar belief or passion that we had, or a similar grind. And, we live right around the corner from each other. I mean, there's so many different things that it was like, wow, you know what? I never knew that about this guy. And it makes me appreciate him even more, and when Joe and I first started this, the first thing he said to me was, I'm not used to being on this side of the camera, So you're gonna have to be patient with me. And there's times that I look at him when I'm across from him, you know, on the set, and I'm like, yo, he's doing this thing. You know, he's ready to fly. Like he's flying on his own. You know what I mean? And he was nervous about it. So I say all that to go back to your songs. Like, there's no reason for you to be nervous about it. There's no reason for you not to fly. You know what I mean? Put that music out. Let those songs be heard. Everything isn't for everybody, but there's somebody out there that wants to hear that. You know what I mean? Like there's so many people out there that want to hear Joe. You know, so it's like,
here you go.
I'm just saying, it's just one of those things. There's so many people out there who want to hear Joe, who tune into the show just to hear his perspective on what's going on, or who we're talking to at times. And he has a lot of history. He has a very lengthy music, and you know, just, I don't want to call it hood history, you know, but it's that good. He knows a lot of people. It's that neighborhood.
It's street history.
That's street history.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so it's I think saying all that wraps back in everything we connect. I like to connect the dots, and sometimes I jump around a lot, but it all leads back to the point of people are watching the show, or people are gravitating to the show because of Joe's history, street history. People are gravitating to the show because of my music knowledge or my music history.
Don't like, you know what I mean? Like that's what the dynamics represent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I mean? And we bring a different yin and yang type dynamic to it. And people are going to gravitate to your show because of who you are. The fact that you're an ordained minister. You know, the fact that you're a beautiful spirit, people who work with you, people who are in your office who enjoy talking to you are going to gravitate to your show just because you're that person. Right. So don't be afraid to be like, yo, look, tap in on my YouTube. Yeah. That's going to keep clicking those subscribers up. That's the goal right there.
And
before you know it.
No, go ahead.
Before you know it. No, I was going to say, before you know it, you'll be right there with the custom URL, and then everything will start getting monetized. And then, you know, here we go. We're going to the bank.
And this is something that you said that was very interesting. That you said, yeah, I'm an ordained minister, but I ain't afraid to get my feet wet. You feel what I'm saying? Like I ain't afraid to go there. You feel what I'm saying? That alone, right there, is powerful because it covers so much ground. You know what I mean? So much area you could cover with that, and just with one idea at a time, people want to know, like, what does she mean by that? And this is the shit that you gotta push. I don't know. Can you curse? I'm sorry. Well, you're an ordained minister.
Yes, like, I've had people high as a kite on my show.
Oh, you did? You have people high?
Yes.
Okay, no,
like but, literally smoking a blunt. Like really?
Yeah. No, I don't know. See, they know me from my show. Like I talk, but
here goes the yin and yang dynamic. I'm always telling Joe.
Right. You know what I mean? That's definitely the part of it because. I'm gonna talk. I mean, not that G is not gonna talk, and I like to be who I am. I want people to know who I am. Like you're not gonna see me on a recording, and I'm not who you're gonna see when you run up on me or see me in the street or see me in the wherever. You could see me you might see me in Target more than anything. No, you might hear me talk and think I'm in the street, but you might catch me in Target, huh?
I was about to say. I can't forget the Breakfast Club.
Yeah,
definitely. But the Breakfast Club is not like a podcast, though. It's a radio show. Well,
it's not podcasting, but their conversations are on YouTube, so I can watch it that way. But they had the Pivot guys on there. Maybe 5 days ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind because I'm like, oh. Y'all done caught on because they're doing it. And the conversations that they're not afraid. Actually, they had the conversation on there. And so, Pivot people, if you're listening, I'm here. I'm your girl. I would love to come on your show or you can come on mine. However, just saying. So they were talking about, has there been a show that you were afraid to do or someone you were afraid to talk to? Based off of, I guess, ratings or something like that. And they was like, yeah. And they're like, who? So I'm all tuned in, you know, sit up on the couch like, who you about to say? And they said Caitlyn Jenner.
Right.
Because they wasn't sure. They didn't want to offend any the transgender or anything like that. And so they was like, I'm not sure if I really want to do this. And they was like, no, we got to. You can't be afraid to talk. Because that's what's wrong with the world. We're not communicating.
Right.
A lot of things that people are fearful of is all of that. And it's no need. If you have a conversation, then you will understand where they're coming from, how they feel, what's going on. Did something happen where they feel this way? And once you have the conversation, then hey, it is what it is. You either accept or you don't.
To each his own. Everybody's different. You know what I mean? Like you have a conversation, like you said, you might not even agree with what they're saying. You don't have to. We don't have to agree with each other.
No.
You know what I mean? It's okay to disagree. It's, you know what I mean? It's perfectly fine.
I have a lady at my job, and I guess I never really paid attention to it. She was born a dude. She was born with both genitals, actually. And so her parents picked her gender at 3 and had this surgery.
That was crazy.
But she identifies with a girl, but her body says something totally different. You can tell, but at the same time, it's like, wow. Okay, so we're in the room. I'm asking questions because I'm like, so... And the funny thing was, and I'm not trying to be funny, she came in the bathroom. We sitting, I ain't saying sitting on the toilet, but she was right next to me. And I'm like,
that's it.
So I'm, is she peeing like a dude or is she?
So I have a question.
Don't turn this shit into For the Record, please.
No. I have a question. So it's like, so how does that? So when you talk about, have you heard of the term babies? Okay, so the term babies comes from, people saying that we don't at an early age, the babies should be able to. We don't want to assign the sex or the gender. They should be able to determine that on their own once they're of age.
What's the name of it, G?
It's they bees. Like instead of babies, it's they like they.
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 Yeah.
Bees.
Okay.
So it's basically a group of people, and we don't have to get into the groups and the lefts and the rights and all that different stuff, saying that they should be allowed to determine their own gender, going forward, and that's kind of the argument. And it's like, well, wait, what are we talking about here? Because it was always boy and girl from right off the bat. But now it's boiling down to, what do I identify with? What do I feel like? So I guess my question is, how do you feel about not really assigning gender, because you want to give, everybody has rights. Yes, we're giving out way too many rights. All of a sudden, just everyone's getting rights, but we're giving out rights to people to children, to babies. And we're saying, okay, these babies need to be protected. They need to be able to decide whenever they're comfortable on what gender they're going to be at that time.
That's bullshit. Oh, you know me. I'll but yo. See, we're about to get busy. That it's just that shit like that, man. Go ahead, bro. Finish talking about.
No. I mean, that was the question. I was like, what does that? I guess I'm looking for perspective. What how does that make both of you guys feel? Like,
I think it's bullshit. I think it's like bullshit. You know what I mean? I think whatever your preference is, you know what I mean? I don't have nothing against the gay community or whatever. And they just passed a law somewhere where you're not supposed to say gay or some old dumb shit going on. But down south. But it's to each his own. But to do that with children, I don't think that's right, bro. I think if you have a child at 3 years old, that boy's a boy. If he grows up to be 16, 18 or whatever and decides whatever he wants to be, then so be it. I don't think a parent even has the right to do no shit like that, honestly. You know what I mean? That's like right now, you have a beautiful daughter. You understand what I'm saying? If you and your wife felt like you wanted your daughter to be a football player, you go change her gender, like that shit is unheard of to me, bro. It makes no sense to me. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's not fair. Like how do you live like that as a human? Like that shit is inhumane to me. You feel what I'm saying? But that's my take on it.
I mean, it's basically just saying that they're not old enough to decide what they want to be yet. So
exactly.
give them that opportunity to.
I agree.
Average male brain isn't developed to make proper decisions until he's 24. You understand what I'm saying? These kids are out here in the street killing each other, and their brains are not even developed to make the proper choices in life. So you mean to tell me at 8 or 6 or 5 that a kid is ready to determine his sexuality? You understand what I'm saying? To me,
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
With the
you
fact
agree,
that
you agree with Joe?
That they're not in a place to decide. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, we can look this up, but I want to say Ciara, the singer, that happened to her as well. And I think she had surgery at 11, if I'm not mistaken.
So wait, what are you saying? Ciara was a boy? Or
she had both genitals.
I don't know about that. Somebody has to fact check that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Somebody has to fact.
I'm not.
Somebody has.
I still got business to do. I ain't touching
somebody
that.
Somebody has to fact check that. Fact check. We need a fact
check.
Fact check. Hold on.
Please, and I'm not doing the fact checking on this one right here. Parts of that.
I mean, when we were talking about this at work, she brought up Ciara, and I was like, "Wow, I had never heard that before until."
Right. I mean, it's definitely an interesting subject. Like when you go into first of all, going back to speak about the pivot. I mean, the Caitlyn Jenner episode was definitely dope. But even like when you touch on things like the Olympic swimmer Leah Thompson, I think, I'm not sure what her last name is. She is competing. She was born a man,
right?
But you're competing against
as a woman,
girls. As
absolutely
a woman,
wrong. Totally wrong.
Swimming.
It's totally wrong. It's totally wrong, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. But if she's gone through all of the rules say that she can't compete, I think that if it discourages young girls who are girls, if it discourages them from competing and performing, because all of a sudden it's okay for us to say, okay, you know what, I want to go and I want to perform, female sports. It makes it crazy. We had a similar situation here in Connecticut with a track. I'm not sure what high school it was.
Yes.
But it was just like
the boy.
What if
the girls?
What if your daughter is on the track and field and that's that qualifies her for a scholarship, and all of a sudden you lose out on that scholarship because she's getting dusted by a guy who's playing female sports, or UFC. Is it right for?
And where do you draw the line? You understand?
Where do you draw the line at?
Where do you draw the line? Let me ask you this, right? I love The Shop. You watch The Shop? You guys both watch The Shop. LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I love LeBron. He's a great dude to me. I really love LeBron. Don't know him, but he's a great dude to me. So what you're saying, if LeBron bugged out, I'm not even gonna say bugged out. I take that back. That's not the proper terminology. If LeBron went way left tomorrow and said, I'm turning into a fucking woman, right? And he goes, is it okay for him to go sign with the New York Liberty? And how many championships will he win?
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's
crazy.
Fair. That is crazy. So you mean to tell me that this kid is able to come and break and swim with he's beating them. You understand what I'm saying? He's beating them. It's not like he's a man.
So
we know physically there's a big difference between women and physically a woman and a guy. So right. I don't think that regardless
especially
if you identify as yes, I don't think you should be able to compete, because at the end of the day, that'll be like, what is it, Shakar Jackson running against Usain Bolt. Are you
exactly
kidding me?
Exactly.
It's not going to be a it's not going to be a match.
It's not going to be a contest.
So I brought
as much as we want to be at high at our highest, Jackie Joyner Kersee, whatever, she will never be able to beat someone like Usain Bolt or any of those, even at our highest potential. That'd be like, as we said, the Venus and Serena going against Andre Agassi or somebody like Pete, whoever, all of them. It's
Pete Sampras.
McEnroe and Sampras or something like that.
Oranges. What we talking about?
Right.
Honestly, I'm honestly going with Venus and Serena on those matches.
I don't know. They can put up a fight, but I
think those girls would do it to them.
So. I might put a little bet on Sha'Carri after she smoke an L and go race a dude.
You never know, man. You never know.
Anybody can have a bad day. That's all I'm saying.
That's a fact. A fact. But at the end of the day, like what we're talking about is we all know that it's wrong. So it's like we don't know how. The question is, what are they doing allowing this shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how is this even possible? And I think it's
even in that, like, where are we gonna draw the line at? Because at the end of the day, with the science, and we still doing too much.
Well, I don't even think it's for the sports or for. I think it's and this shit is it might be a little bit much, but I think it's just like for that, like that gay culture. It's like we constantly. Like he said, it's a new law. Like it's new laws and new rules, and you understand if they're allowed to have these shits, what are our rules? Like what is protecting me as a straight man? And this is real shit. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I go out and I get into a fight with a gay man and I beat his ass, it's a hate crime, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if I go out and I fight with a gay man and they just start the fight and I gotta have a fight with him, I'm charged with a hate crime for fighting another man that identifies as gay. Some of this shit is crazy, bro. Real shit. Some of it is just really crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think certain things should stay traditional, and other things, when we get into the conversation of rights, yes, the LGBTQ community should have rights. So should the African Americans. We should have rights. So should women.
What happened
they
to
should have rights.
But what I get what you're saying though, G. I get what you're saying, but it's also a situation as to, like, where do we draw the lines? Like, you're identifying with something else, like, and I got to give you rights. You understand what I'm saying? Like your daughter, not to cut you off, bro. Your daughter can go now to the mall and walk into a bathroom that a possibility of, like she said at work, a man can come into and use, because he mentally identifies as something else. You mean to tell me that's okay? That is not okay. That shit is not okay.
That's not okay. That's definitely not okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? People, to each his own, but that shit is not cool with me.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely not.
JB, let me ask you this.
Oh, we done changed the title to For the Record Podcast. What are we doing now?
Yeah, you got it. Oh my goodness, this is crazy.
What's the name of your podcast? So I'll put it up there.
Oh, there we go.
Oh boy.
So
like, follow, and subscribe, whoever that is. We love you.
So let's get into music in general. So with I asked Ace this before. Dead or alive, who is somebody
Oh,
that you would love to do music with, or be in the presence of, or produce, or manage? Who would you pick?
no question. I would love to. So I'll tell you this right now. Throughout, even till this day, it's something in me that tells me keep working. You're gonna work with Jay at some point.
How did I know you was gonna say that?
I don't know. Maybe you feel. Maybe it's that energy. You feel what I'm saying?
He's got the New York hat on.
But I promise you, I knew you was gonna say him.
It's because
It's the New York.
I cannot identify with Jay. Now I'll tell you something that's funny. Like G will tell you, I'm always screaming it. My favorite rapper of all time is Styles P. You know what I mean? It's Styles P. I was just like, that's my man. But when it comes to like, it's like that OG big brother type of thing. Like it's Jay. I always wanted to work with Jay. From Streets is Watching, at that age, when he released Streets is Watching, and the age I was at and the lifestyle that I was into, I connected with him. You know what I mean? I connected to him, and then I watched him grow, and I was like, yo, he painted this picture. You feel what I'm saying? I was like, he painted this picture. Like, you could go listen to some Jay shit right now and be like, yo, he said this in reason. You can always find something that Jay said in Reasonable Doubt right now. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. Exactly.
So what we call that in the realm of the spirit is speak those things as though they were.
Right.
Write the vision and make it plain.
That's a fact. And so,
you felt it. It was proven on this show. One of the artists, she wanted to meet Missy Elliott. She said, one day I'm gonna meet Missy Elliott. I'm gonna do a song. I don't know. Promise you. She posted that when we were talking about it. She clipped it out of our conversation, posted it. Guess who responded to it?
That's crazy. Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott. Wow.
Right.
It wasn't even 72 hours. Wow. Missy Elliott reached out to her. So when I say I don't think we understand as humans how much our words have power, right?
That's a fact.
So I'm gonna tell you this, and this is recorded, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about to tell you. So we know Ellen DeGeneres is off now, right?
Right.
Today is June 14th, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting in the bed. This is not too long ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago. I'm sitting in the bed. I'm watching Facebook, as I often do. And her clips, some of the clips of her show was coming up. So I'm watching. And it was one where she was helping some students. She was helping a teacher. She was giving, her sponsors were giving money. They were doing all these different things. And I'm boo-hooing. I ain't that sensitive, but yes, I was boo-hooing. And I heard God say, I'm replacing Ellen DeGeneres to replace her with you. I had to call several people like, listen, I don't know what's going on, but God just told me this. And he said, why not? Why not you? And he started breaking down A through Z. And so I'm just waiting. I already know my show is going to the TV.
Right.
I know that for a fact. And when he said it, I said, He said, wasn't at one point, you were acting like you were a lesbian? I said, yeah. He said, don't you got probably the same heart she do, or, trying to help people and, help them and give them money and cars and all this stuff. Ain't that your heart? It's like, yeah. He said, don't he reign on the just as the unjust? I said, yes. So why not you? And I shut up.
Why not you?
Right.
It happened again 2 days ago. I don't know why he keep plugging like Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres. Oh, it's gonna be a show called Sunshine. Trust me. He said, I got asked today. Now you showed me this picture. It was me, but at the time my hair was blonde. He said, what is it about you in color? Is this just something that you do, or is this part of you? And I'm like, I love color, but this blue, I don't know what it is about my blue hair, but I promise you, I'm stopped 50 million times a day. And we have a conversation about my blue hair. Went to the church service. They said, you know, you're going to be known around the world for your blue hair. How they going to see me?
Blue Sunshine. The Blue Sunshine Show.
The Blue Sunshine
So,
Show.
We speaking it. I believe it's going to happen. Just like you going to meet Jay. You never know. These connections, I would have never met. I'm trying to be, I'm like, a black person in Connecticut. We got black people in Connecticut.
Right.
What?
I speak nothing but positivity, because that's all I want around me. It's the energy. You know what I mean? You got to keep that. You got to keep that aura up. You got to keep that energy going. Like, I don't want nobody to be like, I'm gonna tell you a story, and I don't want to bring tears to you, but G called me earlier. If you look at our shows, he always talk about how I deal with death. And he called me earlier. He was like, yo, what's up? You ready? I said, for 7? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for 7. I said, but let me hit you right back, because I just lost another one of my mans today. You feel what I'm saying? Bless his soul and rest in peace. It's like, we got to keep going. You feel what I'm saying? We got to keep going. We got to keep my energy. I couldn't get up here with my energy low. I couldn't get up here. Like, you know what I mean? I need to speak this positivity. You know what I mean? You just said, yo, how did I know that you was going to say, Jay? I don't know. We never even talked before. How did you know? Do you feel that? Is it a vibe? You understand what I'm saying?
In my heart of hearts, I knew you was going to say Jay.
We got to be strong. We got to keep going. We got to push positivity. We got to push that vibe. We got to talk things into existence. When you talking about sad and down and all that, that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to ride off of. But you know what I mean?
Listen,
when you smiling, you happy, and you coasting, it's going to happen.
Something major happened this past weekend, and it is an attest to you, right? Something major happened to me, made me relive a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rough weekend, but this one right here, the one next to you, said, "Look, sis,
this one. Wait.
He said,
"This one.
You good?" I'm like, "I'll be all right." Said, "Nah. You can't dwell here because your voice is needed." Not even 5 minutes, not even 10 minutes. It happened. Recognize it and move on. It's too many people need your voice. And I'm like, but I just want to, no. Get up.
Shake it off.
You can't afford this. Because at any moment, while you sitting up here soaking, the enemy can get closer to you. He can't move with it. He can't hit a moving target.
Right.
Keep moving. I know things happen to us. I know death is around us all the time. Guess what? Them guys, angels. Like, not this one. You can't touch him. You can't touch him. And you definitely can't touch her. And if you try, guess what? There's only so much you can do. Only so much you can do. Period. So yeah, devil, you tried it. But I'm better for it. Now I'm coming for you instead of you coming for me.
Exactly. You know, when you, as soon as you understand that the devil operates on fear, you know, I had a conversation with somebody a couple of days ago, and they were like, I feel like I'm being chased And I said, you know what? All of us are being chased. We're all being chased because the devil is real. He's trying to chase us down, trying to push us in the corner. But as soon as you understand that he operates on fear, you're just gonna stop, turn around, looking right in his face, stand your ground, and he's gonna back down because he knows you can't touch me.
Look,
can't touch me.
I'm the oldest of 3. Now I know, like spiritually and just in the physical, I got some big brothers. I got some big sisters now.
Right.
Don't mess with me. Don't try me.
Right.
Don't do none of that. This ain't what you want.
Right.
This is not what you want. So again, we already an hour in. See how this go? So again, this music touches my soul. That's like my first love. I got it tattooed on me. This is my first love. The conversation that I had with my mother, to hear her voice, have her looks, and all of this stuff was music. To be able to harmonize, to write. So I didn't even know I had the ability to write songs until I got into painful situations. And then it all came out. Like, oh my God, that was me? Oh my God, like, what? What I heard not too long ago, the tears that I cried are going to be the water that God used for my victory in the garden. Ain't that deep?
That's deep. To grow your garden.
Same thing.
I like it. I like that. We can't hear you, bro.
Somebody keep calling you.
We can't hear you, man. We can't hear you.
He got the hotline over there.
Nah, it's that. You still can't hear you, bro. No.
Somebody called him again.
He got the iPhone.
He got a
2.5. Nah, man. Still can't hear you, bro.
He got to come up to the 13th.
No, he's gonna come back in a second. Yeah, that's what happens, you know. Shout out to Cricket Wireless.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, right. You can hear me?
I can hear you now. Oh, where'd you go?
Where you go?
I'm back, sunshine. Like I
jumped in.
Nah. So you know.
Oh, you know what? He just wanted to be over on that other end because you
I see
pointing that way. He's trying to change the order.
It's easier to go like this.
Trying to change the natural order of things.
That nigga called me like 3 times back to back, and I had to keep blinking. But I didn't know the joint was gonna go out. So what I missed? I ain't missed nothing. Did I?
Nah, we were just talking about.
We were just talking about your. He was talking about your raggedy phone. That's what he said.
Yeah, my phone ain't raggedy. My phone is like y'all phone. My phone is good.
I'm just saying, like iPhone already said, like they're going to stop supplying service for iPhone 3s. Like you gotta leave the iPhone 3 alone, man. Like get off that. Like
y'all go look at the show and see what my phone is that I keep on my lap. Don't listen to him. I'm trying to get them to look at the show. I'm trying to get them to look at the show by any means necessary.
I see. Yeah, he want to show his phone. Go watch and see what he's talking about. So,
what's up?
How have you guys been enjoying doing the podcasting?
I love it. Actually, like he said, when I first got up there, when I first started, I was like, "Yo, bro, you know, I've never been on this side of the camera." But when I realized that I can't be nobody other than myself, you know what I mean? So I was like, "This is what they're gonna get." And when they press record, it's gonna be what you're gonna get. So I didn't know I would be as comfortable as I am on a podcast. A couple days ago, I found myself. I was walking along the water somewhere, and this white dude, he was like, "Yo, come on, man!" You know, he's with his guys. He's like, "Come on, we taking pictures," and he just took a selfie and shit. And the person I was with was like, you always just taking pictures and shit. And I was like, yo, when I released that podcast, it went worldwide. So it don't matter. And it's put me in another comfort zone into where, you know, I can expand, you know. I can be
Mhm.
I'm a very private person. You know what I mean? I don't do. He knows. He screams at me like, "Yo, you need to take pictures. You need to do this. You need to do that." I be like, "I'm good on the pictures. I slide out." So the thing is with me, I'm real laid back. I don't take many pictures. I don't do much. But now that I'm doing this, I'm way more comfortable than I thought I would be. I like it. It's giving us a chance to interact, bring something out of people that they they didn't know they could release. You know what I mean? Like some of the stuff that you're talking about. Um, i.e., we had a set of beautiful young women that was on our show recently. Jungle Rose podcast. It's a young black principal and it's a young black doctor, and you know, I'm sure she wouldn't mind just touching on her. Like she was going through some real trauma recently, and she was like, "Listen, I didn't want to come do the show." You know what I mean? And she's like, you know, I didn't want to do it because I'm going through this, going through that. And when she started to explain, it was being recorded. And by the time we could tell her, like, yo, you know, we on, she was like, it's all right. I feel good. She was like, this is the best I felt. And I don't know how long. I didn't want to come here this morning. But guess what? I'm here and I'm releasing this and people going to watch this and it's going to help people. So I was like, shit, this is what I do it for. You know what I mean? So it makes me feel good because everybody that I get up there, I'm trying to pull something out, you know what I mean, out of their comfort zone and have them give people just like, you know, something other than the cliche. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody know what the superstars did. You know what I mean? Let us know about what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like you say, you know, Sunshine, you talk about stuff that people are not aware of and they want to hear that. You know what I mean? Everybody know that did he go with Shorty real bad? You know? See, y'all mustn't catch that. Huh?
Mhm.
Did you catch Diddy podcast and no one with Shorty? Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, it's that everybody knows that we want to talk about what's not cliche, what's not on the surface. You know what I mean? We don't want to talk about what everybody talking about every day. We want to talk about real shit and real life people. You know what I mean? What you go through day to day, what you've been through. You know what I mean? For the record, tell it. Tell people how they can do better in life, how they can navigate through life, certain situations. Again, IEU, Sunshine, you got to let this out because I keep hearing your name, but it's because I'm interested in your story. You feel what I'm saying? You said a few things when we first started. I'm like, damn, I didn't know all of this. You feel
Right.
what I'm saying? I didn't know all of this, but I want to know now. You know what I mean? So I'm sure whoever's watching or whoever tuned in when you release it wants to know all of this. You know what I mean? So that's what it's about. And I feel good because it's therapeutic too. We're not just here to put people's stories out. We're here to help them. Let them know that, yo,
Absolutely.
it's solutions out here for everybody. And, you know, we here to help. We're here to learn too. We're not just here to you know, just interview
Let
people.
me help some other people.
Right.
Right.
And I think
So
to piggyback on his point real quick, I think, you know, the longer we go on and continue to do this, the more comfortable we will become, and the easier it'll be for us. You know, like we
Mhm.
still have. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for consistency. You
Exactly.
know, um, as it goes on, it will get better. The sound will get better. The video will get better. The set will get better. We'll improve and we'll better ourselves and in each person that we spiritually, emotionally, you know, mentally touch.
and you have nowhere else to go but up. It's the lessons that you learn.
Right.
I'm in a place now that I'm looking to upgrade. I'm in my living room
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, I want to make my own studio in my living room. I'm not really looking for in person, but if that time comes, so be it. But right now,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. I upgraded from the phone to a laptop to, you know, it is what it is. And I'm happy I'm doing it because again, it's a confidence builder for one. The things that I wouldn't expect myself from doing, I'm doing. And then you get asked the question, how are you? How are you doing this? And then you
Mm-hmm.
tell. And this is what everything is supposed to be about. The experiences you have, the lessons you learn, you tell someone else. So you don't have to bump your head. You don't have to, create the wheel when I done already did it. Ask me questions. By all means. If it's podcast, I had somebody reach out to me about starting a podcast. It's free information. Guess what? Here it is. I'm not charging you for this.
Definitely.
Here it is. The stuff that I know work. Hey, I'm telling you. If it don't work for you, hey, I still did my job. I told you. So this is all it is. So when we have these conversations, is to, like I said, you're one person away, one advice away, and one help away from where you need to be in your destiny.
Mm-hmm. Right.
JB, what if Jay called you tomorrow?
We're going to work. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out along the way.
I don't know. We never know. This is the funny thing about social media. You don't know who's watching. Right, when I thought people was not watching and I made a comment, my inbox was, if you don't, yes, we do. And da. How did I know? Y'all not commenting. So how would I know you're watching?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, yes, we're watching. So be careful. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I won't assume that nobody's watching, but they really are. So again, I'm for the youth. I did research that youth who get exposure. This is why I said, Ace, I need your daughter. When they get exposure about their talents, their gifts, and all of these things, 90% of them graduate, stay out of trouble, be great citizens, and they go back and they grab somebody else. So
I get that.
Again, we got kids that sing, dance, cook, do all of these different things, especially when you're an adult and you don't know them. You're not related to them. And you talking about, you want to talk to me? Yeah, I want to talk to you. I sure do. Tell me all about it.
My little one does all the above that you just mentioned. She cooks.
I know she does.
She dances. She makes beats.
Plays softball. She do all this stuff. She on there making commercials.
Design clothes.
I need her
basketball.
On the show. Because what y'all don't realize is peers and peers, right? So if I see Ace's daughter on here and I'm her age, guess what? I'm motivated to be like her.
That's a fact.
Guess what? In the Bible, right? There were kings that were 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. You don't have to wait till you 20, 30 some years old to be used by God.
No.
Right? So if I'm exposing you early in a positive way, then when I look back at you again, I'm be like, man, I remember when she was this at this age. Now look at her. She an all-star. Come on now.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it all starts
already. What are you talking about?
I think with her, it all starts with, positive affirmations. Like every morning she leaves me, it's be great, nothing less. She'll say that to me. She starts it off. She's been hearing that since she was able to talk. Be great, nothing less. And then she'll get out of the car and she'll look at me and she'll go say, all right, bye, have a good day. And she'll say, be great, and I'll say nothing less, or vice versa. So that's bred into her. And when we speak about softball, baseball, basketball, martial arts, I mean, she does a lot, swimming, and we will continue to push her, but it's part of just understanding how to motivate her, keep her involved, and just, I mean, being involved as a parent. That's the number one thing. and this is going to take me back. This is going to take me around to the point of, as Black men, as Black women, we go through so much, and sometimes we get too involved with just trying to keep our own stuff together, and our children. I hate to say kids because kids are baby goats. Our children.
See the difference between me? You see the difference between him and I? He's talking about kids that are baby goats and shit.
I'm just saying.
Kids.
I'm just saying our children sometimes tend to fall by the wayside because we're focused on everything else except for them. And I think that's one narrative that I've always been out to change.
Yeah.
Like,
and you do a good job at it.
She has to be a better version of me. And fast forward to Joe and I working together on this podcast. This is again our official time, our official chance to actually work together. And Joe has to deal with me being, micromanaging and being crazy and being overly like, this with that, and inventing to him, and Joe was given a great balance. And that's another thing, strength in numbers, especially being confident with another Black man, just understanding the dynamic and understanding when it's okay for me to fall back and for him to take a lead, and then vice versa.
Yeah, how about saying vice versa? Definitely.
Like being able to have each other's back and not really worry about anything. That's also it's also huge. You know what I mean? Because again, we don't have enough of that. A lot of us are always just out to point the finger and out to get us. And I think our dynamic works extremely well, because when I've had certain partners in the past, they've fallen short. They didn't live up to the expectation. And I think Joe, if I'm speaking out of turn, you can correct me, but I think Joe's had that similar cases where he's had certain partners and they were
definitely.
It just wasn't working out. So now it's like you have two people who have a certain strength and we're working well off of each other. And adding in Kenny's Creative House and Kodak is another young brother that we're tapping into. We're building a very, very strong team, and everyone's a star. So there's not one person that's outshining the other. Everyone's a star here, and that's how we'll all win together.
Our chemistry is good.
How do you pick your guests?
I think, that comes up to a number of things. It's either personal experiences that either Joe have had or I've had. We kind of shoot them back and forth. A lot of them we've both known, or know of through either the business or just the neighborhood, or just we know their resume, and we go through and say, what we want to focus on. We don't want to be known as a music podcast, because we're not a music podcast. We're very much a lifestyles podcast. So like, speaking to the young ladies from Jungle Rose, that was, I think that was, and someone like Scott X, who's the NAACP president, speaking with people like that kind of will set us apart from just your typical music podcast. We're going to have restaurant owners come on, and we're going to have politicians come on. We're going to have, doctors and lawyers come on, and then we're going to take it back to, the hood and tap in with sports and everything else.
And we're going to have strippers on. We're going to have dance. Oh, I've
had some of everybody. I don't limit either. I've had
we're going to have the
dance. I've had politicians. I've had mother, father, people who have had AIDS. I've had church pastors. I don't limit at all, because I'm not limited. Okay.
Right.
So I can go in the bar and talk to any and everybody, and I'm not moved. So again, if you're a human, then we can talk. So I'm not limited. I would never limit my show to just being in a box, because I'm not in a box. So
Ace, is there anybody that you would be skeptical of interviewing?
No, I don't mind talking to anybody.
Yeah.
And I think everybody has a story.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem talking to anybody. If there was an opportunity to talk to someone like Caitlyn Jenner or someone in a certain similar situation that was on a lower level, I mean, again,
You
I'm an
like
open book.
snapped when you said Caitlyn Jenner. Like, was that like, you know what I mean? Was that shit?
No, I was reaching for the name.
You see
It's
how
not,
that shit like kind of coincided? Like that was crazy. I was like, wait, what's going on?
no, I was reaching for the name.
No.
I actually go to Instagram. I've reached out to TikTok people that I feel like if I see them and I'm moved, I'm like, yes, I need to reach out to them. So most of the time I'm doing all the reaching out to the person. If it's somebody that's doing something big on Facebook, I'll reach out to them. If they respond, they respond. If they don't, they don't. And at one point, I had a little bad attitude about that, and I'm like, "Ooh, miss me now, miss me later," you know. And then I was like, God kind of checked me, like, "You don't know what's going on with them, so chill out."
I think for us, once we figure out whether we want to actually venture into the Zoom type world, similar to what you're doing, it may broaden our horizons. But we've always had this set idea, so it may get to a point where the set becomes a restriction for us, and we need to open up and actually go to this type of format as well.
You know, the pivot, they're actually mobile. They're actually going to the people
right
themselves.
Well, that actually, I don't want to. G. I hope I'm not talking out of. I felt like you wanted to say that, but you ain't want to get into it. But I'm just going to put it out there. That's what we're looking forward to as far as season 2 is to be mobile, and because with podcasting as everything else, it's evolving. You know what I mean? And we've been like talking already, like for our season 2 to move around because we can, like you said, it can broaden our horizons and we can get bigger and better interviews with people that we know and connections that we have. So, like I said, G, I don't want you to feel like I just jumped the gun, but that is something that we're working on.
I kind of felt that. Why you think I said it?
I like your vibe, Sunshine. You feel alive. I like it. You feel you get it. So that J shit must be coming.
Listen.
Hey, I'm coming back to do the interview though. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's how it works. I get it popped off with Jay, and then I come back and get you popped off, and then before you know it, you on CBS.
Come in. Huh? Listen, you get hooked up with Jay. I'm like, look, you got to get Jay on the show.
Not to see. This is how we gonna do it though. See, this is how I think. When I get with Jay get me right. Then I come back and do the show. I get you right, and then you can get Jay after that. But we see this is what we talk about when we was talking about earlier. I'm gonna show you how it works. Like in Gino, I said this on one of our podcasts, right? Is that sometimes we want to go all the way up when the people that we need is right on the side of us. Just reach your hand out. You feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna be there for you. If I get Jay, I'm gonna be there for you. Jay gonna be like, who Sunshine? Just like he gonna be like, who me? You feel what I'm saying? But I'm gonna come get you and I'm gonna bless you. And then I'm gonna put Jay back in your hands. So that's how it's gonna go. We're gonna speak that into existence. I don't know if you're gonna be on CBS or NBC though.
Listen, we're gonna pull it back in the archives on June 14th. We talked about this. I felt it. I pulled it out of the atmosphere. God gonna do it, and then we're gonna be like, look, Jay, you're not gonna believe this. I'm gonna show it to you. He felt it, I felt it.
Right. And we made it happen.
Connection, I'm telling you. So
we're gonna make it happen.
Like I said, a lot of these things is not it's not by coincidence. And I'm just grateful to be able to move when God tells me to move.
Right.
I saw it and I was like, man, Ace, you know what? Y'all need to come on the show. And he was like, the whole crew. I'm like, yeah, why not? I just changed from Zoom to I'm on StreamYard now. And this is my third show of doing StreamYard. I love it because you can do more on here. I'm just excited about the future. I'm excited. of right now, and I'm excited for the future that we get to have a voice. We get to change the narrative.
Right.
It's definitely with Black men, and that's what I love about this show, because I have more men on my show than I have women. Nothing against them at all. It's just it happens that way. More men are more eager to come on the show than women are for some odd reason. But again, it changes the conversation of I get to broadcast men who are doing something positive, that are doing something for their wives, their families, their mom, their kids, doing something productive that moves me. Whether it's athletes, musicians, singers, writers. I just had a guy on prior to you guys who wrote 6 movies. He's premiering a movie in Philly on Thursday. Awards for them. So again, it's the content of, look, if you can talk and I can understand you, then we good. And I'm gonna keep doing it. Even when I get to TV, nobody is gonna change how I got here.
That's right.
And that's being honest and transparent, being the connector, helping people get their bills paid, cars, whatever. Because these sponsors that I'm talking about, we're gonna be Oprah out here. You know what I mean?
I need some bills paid. Can you pay some bills over here?
Listen, what you need?
You gonna be Oprah out there?
Listen, somebody got to do it.
Somebody got to do it. I mean, we all can't be drinking Voss water. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, we got to do it. We got to do it. And the more you give, the more you gonna get.
Right.
Yeah.
We gotta, we gotta help. We gotta give. Whatever your platform is, the voice is needed.
You gotta. That's where you get your power from, reaching out and helping.
Back to this Big Daddy Kane story. I ain't forget.
Oh boy.
You're right. Yeah. What's up?
Oh boy.
What you need, Sunshine?
I'm like, did he say, oh yeah, such a Big Daddy Kane? What? Did you just sleep over there? Like, what?
G, come back.
Nah, I'm not coming back. I refuse.
Come back, yeah.
I refuse to come back.
Oh goodness. What's up?
So, are you in Connecticut too, or are you in New York?
I'm in Connecticut.
Were you always in Connecticut?
Born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut.
Wow. So that's 3 Black guys I know now in Connecticut.
I unfortunately have to jump off because I have a comic. This is going to sound crazy and weird. I have a comic book meeting that I'm getting ready to go into.
Oh yeah, it's fair.
It's an anime type thing. Joe can explain that to you if you guys are going to stay on for long.
I don't want to explain that because there's a lot of details to that, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. So that was definitely for you, but it's a good situation, so you definitely go take care of it.
So as always, it's a blessing. Thank you very much for having us. Thank you for having me again. I'm going to leave you in good hands.
Absolutely.
How does that work?
Yeah, something like that.
Like this, just go.
Right.
Yeah,
we'll talk.
Go. I appreciate you.
Go at this point.
No problem.
Keeping it real conversations for the record podcast. Look us up. Click like, subscribe, do all that.
YouTube for the record.
Later.
Okay, so let me. Uh-oh.
There we go.
There we go. So now it's just me and you. Ooh, you in the hot seat now.
I'm cool. I'm good under pressure. I'm all good. It's all good.
So,
what's in the hot?
So what is a balanced life for you now?
I'm sorry, what is that?
A balanced life. Balance.
As far as work and the podcast, I don't know if you know, I don't have any kids. I'm single, so it's like balanced life for me is to grind, come home, relax, find dinner. That's very balanced. I like I was saying, like we were talking earlier, my energy. I like to keep my energy high. So I watch what I'm around, where I'm at, who I'm around. You understand what I'm saying? So that's where I find my balance. I found my balance really is being around myself a lot, because I can dictate, what I need to, the energy that I need to be around. You feel what I'm saying? And it's easy for me to find balance. If it's somewhere I don't want to be, I remove myself. You know what I mean? I'm well aware of who I am right now. You know what I mean? I know what I want. I know what I want to do, and I know what I need to do to achieve those goals. It's not nothing's overnight, but that's where you find that balance when you need to sit down and think and take a little more time for certain situations. So it's easy for me to find my balance. I'll get on the highway and take a drive for 2-3 hours, and I'll do that because it's therapeutic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You think a lot when you drive, when you're alone, so it's easy for me to find balance.
Um, so with the music business, or if you didn't start in your early 20s, do you
Hmm.
think this would have been something that you would have been doing?
Music,
Mm-hmm.
as far as management or
Management.
label
Mm-hmm.
wise, um, yeah. So prior to music, I'm a clothing designer. I design clothes. So yeah, I had my own clothing company. I ran it for multiple years. I ran into some problems, got away from that. So my first love was designing clothes. So I was doing that, and then after a while I ran into some problems and I got away from that. And like I said, even I was already dealing with music when I fell in love with design and clothing. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it was sort of an equal love, but I'm a creative person, so I like to see it does something for me to see things come alive. You know what I mean? Like to think of an idea, to put it on paper, to design it, and to get it produced, and to see other people wearing it. You know what I mean? That does something for me. I love that type of affair. So I would. Chances are I would probably be doing music and clothing. You know what I mean? I don't think it would be. I could take really one over the other, but my first love was really clothing, even though I was involved with music.
So was that like hip hop clothes, or what type of
Yeah,
clothing
it,
was
it,
it?
wa- it was it was urban clothing. It was early 2000s. It's crazy, man, because my man that my man that passed away today, that I said, bless his soul, let him rest in peace. I was offered a deal at 22 years old, and it's on one of my podcasts. We talk about it. I was offered a deal from this company, um, that my man that passed away pretty much set up, and shit, that shit is a little crazy right now. But that deal, that deal, what were you just asking? What were you just asking? I'm sorry, because I'm sitting here thinking about my man. This shit is
So
crazy.
you were I believe you were talking about, I guess, his role into the deal to basically either we were talking about hip hop clothes or urban clothes.
Yeah,
And
so
what were you
so it was
doing?
it was it was an urban clothing line. It was an urban clothing line. It came. My line started in the early in the like '98. Um, it was definitely urban. It was. I was like it was sometimes me and like Sean John would have the same samples. You know what I mean? Because with clothing, we would like if you whatever you have on right now inside of it, it had what they call an RN number. You know what I mean? So back then, we would deal with certain manufacturers, and my manufacturer knew the Sean John manufacturers. So we would go buy like a Sean John sweatsuit and be like, "Yo, get the RN number out of it." So we get the RN number out of it, and then we'll send it to our guy. He go get the the pretty much the blueprints and go make the same suit, same material and everything, and we would have like the same stuff. So it was an urban line. It was just like Sean John, Fubu, Platinum, and that was definitely one of my mistakes trying to keep up with those major lines at the level that I was at. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people want clothing lines and they pay.
Was that around the same time as like Cross Colors and
that was right after Cross Colors. Because remember, it was like Carl Kanai. It was like Carl Kanai, and you had like the the Cross Colors, and it kind of moved
Fuji,
over to
Fubu.
Not
Fuji, Fubu.
The Fubu. Okay. Right. So it was definitely along the Fubu era. You know what I mean? The Rockaware. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was the answer. I say all that to say yes. It was an urban line. It was not a couture line. Although I did couture things. Okay. Like I would only do it for fashion shows though. I would like my line didn't consist of you couldn't go into the store and buy a couture, like a woman's dress or something like that. But I had other people at the time, like my sisters, they were big into fashion and stuff like that. So we would come together and put these pieces together for just for the models for the fashion shows.
Yeah, I had a couple of clothing designers on the show, and yeah, he loves blue too. So I'm in a place of I'm excited to learn more about people, and to sit back and hear the stories. And even today, had no clue about the situation with your friend, and then we're talking about something that included him. Had no idea.
Right.
And it's amazing how God works. And if we could just sit still and watch him work,
that's it.
It's the amazing feeling that you're not alone. You know how you go through moments and you be like, why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I in the right space? Am I in the right lane? And if you sit still, he'll tell you, he'll show you.
He's gonna show you.
And I don't know what this is, but the vibe, I can literally feel you. Like from Jay to y'all being mobile, and y'all ain't telling nothing. Y'all ain't even talk to each other about it.
Right.
And I knew, I felt it, like and even in this, it's like the biggest dream that you have ever had for yourself is still going to happen. Well, I haven't got there yet. But you know how you have a certain amount of money in the bank account.
Right.
And you like, I can do better. And even the ideas that he blessed you with, you still ain't seen. Huh?
Sunshine, you got a real bad echo right now. Just jump in. You can hear me?
Huh?
You can hear me?
I can hear you now.
You got a real bad echo that's jumping in.
I don't know what happened. You can still hear it?
Yeah, still here.
Hold on. Can you still hear it?
Yeah. Try that.
I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Um, I'm not sure. Let's see if he's gonna get back on. I hope you guys have been enjoying this show. I have truly enjoyed For the Record podcast crew with HGO and JB. Our next shows will be this Thursday with who's on Thursday? Let's see. Thursday we have from out of Atlanta. It's going to be from New Jersey to Atlanta. It's going to be let's see if it's working.
You back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear now.
Listen, I don't know what that was.
I don't know what it is, but we ain't gonna let it stop us though.
Not at all. I was just telling them that I really enjoyed our conversation tonight. We got about 10 more minutes. And I was letting them know who was coming on Thursday. And he's a music producer as well, from New Jersey to Atlanta, and one of my former pastors, Ricky Cranford, who does it all. When I tell you, he cooks, he makes those fancy hats, and like in a church, he does all of that, and he pastors. I'm just excited about, like I said, the future and what God has for you as well, because you haven't seen nothing yet.
I really appreciate
again, those moments when the bank account don't look the way you want it to, it's gonna supersede those connections that you might have felt like was dissolved or completely over because of who you are, because you might stick to your guns and you might feel like, I have to be by myself. It's other people who are going to reach out to you because of you're very good at what you do.
Appreciate that.
You're very good at what you do. And I don't know you. I'm just what I hear. And even whatever you want, you can have. You do some things that you don't talk about. You know how like people bless the homeless, people do all these acts of kindness, and you're like, I don't need the recognition, but the man upstairs see you.
That's right.
He knows.
That's what motivates me. That's, you know, somebody asked me today. They said, "What's up? Are you good?" And I said, "Yo, I'm great." And they was like, I just need to know, like, tell me about this being great. How does that feel?" And I said, "This is God work." I said, "You just let God work." I could screenshot that and send that to you after we hang up. I told him, I said, "Yo, this is God work," and that's what I'm on. You know what I mean? Listen, we here for a reason. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta. At the end of the day, like you said, you just let God work. You know what I mean? He gonna motivate you. You just live your life. You be a righteous person. You treat people well. You treat people how you want to be treated, and it'll be all right. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even, like, we could talk about a lot of stuff that we didn't get into. You know what I mean? And like you said, we keep touching on things that we don't know about each other. Like you said, you know, you done things. Like, I've done plenty of things. I tell people, I say, yo, I don't do things to look for people to return favors. You know what I mean? I said, it's only one person that I need to see me work is God. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's why I'm here. That's why I'm motivated. That's what keeps me going. Nobody here can really do nothing for me. Like, you know what I mean? God gonna make whatever happen, no matter how it go. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, and I'm a very spiritual person. Not for nothing. You know, out of all due respect, I'm just not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. You know what I mean? And I believe that you just gotta have your relationship with God. How you do? You talk to God. Talk to God.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? That's my
what
motivation.
We were taught anyway, to have a personal.
Right.
Now, let me say that again: a personal relationship. And what happened is we made preachers and all of this stuff our God.
Right.
And God don't want that because He a jealous God.
Right.
But however, I heard Him say, "This is who you are. You don't look for recognition from man." And I know what you do because He's telling me what you do. But this is why He's going to bless you beyond measure, because you're not looking for the accolades.
Right.
And you're good at what you do. And He speaks to you in your dreams. And He's going to keep doing that, because this is the moments when you are still and you hear Him clearly in your dreams. Mm-hmm. So again, I'm not surprised the things, you know, and we connect again. When you have connect with me, it's family, it's life.
Right.
You know, if I have your number, I'm telling you, can ask Ace, you can ask anybody that's been on my show. I'm texting, I'm just checking in on you.
Right.
You good? Right. Or sometimes I have a feeling, I'll call somebody in their family has passed away. Right. How did you know? I didn't. I just had that let's check on my people.
Yeah.
So you're not on my show just to be on my show. No, is a real connection.
Things happen for a reason. I'm a firm believer of
that. So just be looking out.
I heard you.
There's many more opportunities, many more ideas that He's gonna give you. I see a new logo. I don't know if you're working on a logo, but I saw a new logo that you're working on. That He's going to give you, that's gonna be that money mint, and you understand what that means.
Definitely.
Gonna be that money mint. And yeah, some things I see, but I'm not gonna say on air.
I hear you.
Just know what you want in your heart. Trust me, not too many more days, you're gonna have it.
I appreciate you. I really do. I really appreciate you, and it's coming to you too. I promise you, it's coming to you, because you're a great soul. You're a great vibe. Everything, your energy, your personality. Like I I didn't know it would be like this. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't know I would feel, you know, every time you do these, you figure out like, what am I getting myself into? And when I got in, it's just like, it felt good. You know what I mean? So this is the reason. You know what I mean? This is the reason. Our energy match. We both want something great. We both want success. We both want each other to be great. You feel what I'm saying? Not just you or not just me. I'm not here for myself. I'm here to see you and help your show be great too. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what it's about. But what we're giving each other and what we're feeding off of, this is amazing, and I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I'm for you if you need me to contact or whatever. I'm here. I'm just a phone call or text away. I'm serious. You know what I mean? Like, this is what it's about. I need this energy. You need my energy because I know what it is. You feel what I'm saying? So we're here. We're, you know, I'm available. I know Ace is available, and you know, it's endless. It's endless. It's
Yeah,
endless. The sky's not
absolutely.
even the limit.
I'm a after this is over,
Yeah.
after we're off air, I'll make sure that we have a line of communication again. I know this was definitely spying on y'all real quick. Chill, so silly. This is why we have to, you know, we taking the world by storm.
Right.
They have no idea. For the record podcast, for keeping it real, conversations with Sunshine.
Definitely.
I've had 2 hours with these dudes, and it has been the greatest.
Yeah, it's been good.
I feel like this was a Friday.
Yeah,
Again,
you're right. Right.
Right. It feels
It's
like
definitely for like a week.
right. So again, I want you guys to support my brothers for the record podcast. It is on YouTube. Please support them. They same name on Instagram.
Yes. For the record
Please
podcast.
like, share, follow, subscribe, do all that things. Even for me, when you see flyers, when you see the broadcast, please share. We got a story to tell. We want other people to have a story to tell. So again, thank you so much for coming in tonight. Even though HGO had to leave us for some animation,
Ace had to bounce out on us. So
but it's all good. I appreciate it. Again, thank you. Again, people, like, share, subscribe. We are 6 degrees of separation. That's what I believe. Again, it's been proven over and over again. You are one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. And we are out. Don't leave, though.
It was a privilege. Thank you.
Don't leave.
I'm here.